When you're looking at a big block gas grill, the first thing that pops up in your mind is usually the fear of overpaying for something that sits in the backyard and gathers rust, or the opposite, getting a cheap unit that can't hold a decent sear. That hesitation is real, especially when you've probably seen a dozen ads promising restaurant-level heat and lifetime durability. I'm going to walk through the Broil King 866157 Crown 520 Shadow 5-burner grill the way I would if I were actually standing in my own patio, trying to decide if this is the grill that will earn a spot on my weekend cooking schedule. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the kind of grilling you're likely to do with a 5-burner, 780 square inch cooking surface. If your idea of a backyard cookout is anything beyond a few burgers on a single burner, you need space to arrange different zones, a hot sear area for steak, a medium zone for chicken, and a cooler spot for veggies or delicate fish. The Crown 520 gives you exactly that layout, with a primary 570 square inch cooking zone and supplemental space that lets you keep a couple of dishes going at once without crowding. That's the practical upside you feel the moment you step up to the grill. No need to shuffle pans or wait for a hot spot to free up. Who should seriously consider this unit? If you're a regular host, think family reunions, weekend parties, or a habit of turning your patio into a small outdoor kitchen, this grill's size and burner count pay off. The 5 stainless steel dual-tube burners push 45,000 BTU total, which translates into a quick heat-up time and enough power to lock in a crust on a ribeye in under 5 minutes. The Flav-R-Wave cooking system, a stainless steel canopy that covers the entire cooking area, does a solid job of distributing that heat evenly. What that looks like in practice is fewer hot spots, so you can lay a whole sheet pan of roasted veggies on one side while a slab of pork chops sizzles on another, and they'll finish around the same time. If you're more of a casual griller, someone who fires up a grill once a month for a few hot dogs and a veggie kebab, this might be more than you need. The larger cooking surface could end up feeling underutilized, and the extra burners become a maintenance consideration you never really benefit from. In that case, a smaller 3-burner model could save you money and space without sacrificing the occasional weekend feast. Now, onto the strengths that matter after the box is opened. The first thing I noticed on the first use was the heft of the cast aluminum cook box. It's heavier than the thin sheet steel you see on many entry-level grills, which means it holds heat longer and resists warping over time. When I cooked a thick-cut pork shoulder low and slow, the grill maintained a steady 250 without me having to constantly adjust the knobs. That kind of thermal inertia is a real advantage for anything that benefits from a gentle, consistent heat. The 3-position cast iron cooking grids deserve a shout-out, too. You can flip them between open, closed, and a middle sear setting. In practice, the closed position gave me that classic restaurant-style sear on a steak. The grill was hot enough to create a crust in a minute, yet the meat stayed juicy because the heat didn't bleed into the rest of the cooking area. The open position works well for indirect cooking, think smoking a chicken breast while keeping the burners off underneath, so you get 2 cooking methods in one unit without needing a separate smoker. Practical weaknesses are equally important. The grill's size and the 5-burner layout mean a fairly hefty footprint, about 5 feet wide. If you have a modest patio or a tight garage, maneuvering the unit into place can be a challenge. The drop-down side shelves are handy for prep work, but they're not reinforced with extra brackets, so they can wobble a bit if you lean on them heavily. I found that when I loaded a heavy cast iron skillet on the right shelf, there was a slight dip. It's not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of if you plan to use large cookware on the side. Another point that came up during a couple of weeks of use is the fuel consumption. The 45,000 BTU output is great for high heat searing, but if you're running all 5 burners at once for an extended period, like when you're smoking a brisket for 8 hours, the gas tank empties faster than you might expect. Pairing the grill with a larger propane tank or keeping a spare on hand is something I recommend for the serious griller. Maintenance-wise, the stainless steel burners are relatively easy to clean, but the dual-tube design means you have twice as many ports to check for clogs. A quick brush with a grill cleaning brush after each use keeps the flames even, but if you ever notice sputtering, you'll need to pull out the burner caps and give them a deeper scrub. It's not overly